Hey, how's it going everyone? MLT Magic Tricks here. So in this video, I'm going to be performing and then teaching you this spectacular card trick with a very powerful effect. But before we get into it, if you are new here to the channel, make sure you subscribe with those post notifications on for more card and magic trick videos like this. And also check out the link in the description to my Amazon page where I have a collection of all the decks I use in my videos, along with a variety of magic tricks and accessories. But now guys, let's get straight into this performance. Okay, so I would start off this trick just by giving the deck some overhand shuffles, really mixing up the deck. I'll also give the cards some cuts. From here, I would explain to my spectator what they are going to be doing with the deck while I would be turned around. So I would just demonstrate to my spectator they are first going to deal a small amount of cards onto the table, and wherever they stop, they would memorize the top card on the deck because that is going to be their selection. And once they have memorized that top card, they would give the deck 2 riffle shuffles to really mix their card in with the deck. Now, once my spectator understands what they're going to do, I would turn around and I would hand the deck to my spectator and they would go ahead and do this. So I'm going to play the role of my spectator here because I don't have one with me. So just pretend that I'm turned around, if I was really performing this trick and my spectator would be handling the deck. So they would just deal a small amount of cards onto the table, and wherever they stop, they would memorize this top card. So I'm just going to be showing you. I promise I'm not looking at it. Make sure you memorize the card right there. Once my spectator has memorized their selection, they will place it back on top of the deck, place these cards right there on top, and give the deck 2 riffle shuffles just to mix their card in with the deck. So that's 1, and we'll go ahead and give the deck another riffle shuffle as well, just like this. Once my spectator is done, the magician would turn around, take the deck, and explain to the spectator that they're going to try and find their card. So I'm going to go ahead and spread out the deck face up onto the table. As you guys can see, we have a big mess out of the deck, and I'm going to attempt to find my spectator's selection. So I'm going to go through the deck, and I'm going to see if one card really speaks out to me. And I'm going to see if that card is my spectator. So I'm going through the deck, and somewhere in this area, a card is speaking to me. And I'm going to go with this ace right here, the ace of diamonds. So I believe this is my spectator's card, and I impossibly located it right here. So guys, that is what this trick looks like. It's a really cool trick with a very powerful ending. And if you guys want to learn how to perform it, make sure you stick around for the tutorial. Okay, so I hope you guys enjoyed that performance. This is a very cool card trick that will certainly confuse all of your spectators, and credit to magician Jack McKillen for this effect. Now let's get right into the tutorial. So this card trick does rely on a small setup. What you're going to do is take out any suit from the deck. In this case, I just chose the diamonds, and you're going to place the 13 cards from one suit on top of the deck, and they can be in any order. So once you have your stacked suit here, they can just be completely shuffled. There's absolutely no order to these cards, but you are going to need to memorize the card that's on the very top. So in this case, I would memorize the Queen of Diamonds. This is going to be my key card. So once again, guys, you're going to take out your stacked suit. It can be from any suit in the deck. I just chose the diamonds. Once you have got this on top, you're going to do one more thing. You're just going to take 5 random cards from the deck, and you're just going to place them right on top. So I just chose these 5 from the bottom. It does not matter, just any 5 additional cards. They go right there on top of the deck, and you are good to go. That's your only setup. It's really not difficult to make. And since this card trick does require a little setup, I would recommend you open your routine with this trick, and then you can get into some impromptu tricks right after that. So one more time, 5 random cards. You have your stack suit, and remember the first card in the stack, in this case, the Queen of Diamonds. You can go up to your spectator. You can do some false cuts. I'll leave a link on the screen right now to me teaching you guys some false cuts if you want to learn some. And you can also do what I did in the performance, which is some false overhand shuffles. So I took around half the deck from the bottom. I overhand shuffled these on top, but I started up here. I'm like halfway above the top card in the deck, just like this, doing some overhand shuffles. And then as I squared up the pack, I pushed down right here on the top card, got this little thumb break, and I just double undercut the cards right back to the top. So I did not disturb my setup I have on top of the deck. I got the 5 random cards and then my stack of diamonds. So just make it seem like you're mixing up the deck, but in reality, you're keeping your setup on top. And if you get one more thing, if you guys are a little bit more advanced out there, you actually don't need to start off with these 5 random cards on top. You can just have your 13 setup cards there, and then as you're in the middle of doing your false cuts, what you can do is kind of spread to the bottom get a little pinky break below 5. Let me make sure it's 5. Yeah, 5 random cards right here as you're squaring up the deck, and then just cut them right to the top like that while you're doing your false cuts, and you've got your 5 random cards on top. Regardless, once you have the 5 random cards above your stacked suit, you're going to explain to your spectator that they are going to be doing something with the deck while you are turned around, and you are going to demonstrate what your spectator is going to be doing, and here is what you need to do. So you're first going to tell your spectator they're going to deal a small amount of cards. While you say small amount, you're just going to tell them, okay, so for example, this is what it would look like, and you're going to deal the 5 random cards on the table right now. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Obviously, don't count to your spectator. You're just doing this while you're talking to them. Then you're going to tell them, okay, then you're going to memorize the top card in the deck wherever you stop. And don't turn this card over. This is going to be your key card. You're just going to tell them, okay, you memorize this card, keep it face down. But obviously, remember, you are going to know this card going into the trick. And then when you have the 5 random cards, you're going to tell your spectator, okay, you're going to place them back on top of the deck, and then give the deck 2 riffle shuffles to mix up the deck and lose your card in the middle. But what you're doing here with these 5 random cards, guys, is getting them off the top of the deck. You don't want them on top of the deck anymore. So what you're going to do is place them on top. You get a little pinky break below the random 5 cards, and you just double undercut them to the bottom. So now you only have your stacked suit here on top, which is what you need for the trick to work. So after you've given that little demonstration to your spectator, you are going to turn around and have them do this. Now, guys, this is very important. Your spectator cannot deal just 1 card, and they cannot deal more than 13. So while you're giving your little demonstration, you're going to emphasize the word small amount of cards. And if you're worried about your spectator only dealing 1 or just dealing more than 13, you can give them a set number like between 3 and 12 cards or something like that, or between 5 and 10. So keep that in mind. Your spectator cannot deal more than 13, or they can't just deal 1. So if you're worried about that, give them a set range. But you really shouldn't have that problem if you clearly explain to your spectator to deal a small amount. So they're going to deal a couple cards here. Wherever they stop, they are going to memorize the top card. You guys, remember, you are turned around for this part. You do not need to look. You don't need to hear how many cards they are dealing on the table. Nothing like that. So once your spectators, they're going to memorize the top card, in this case, the 7 of diamonds. It's going to be one of the 13 diamonds that you have. And remember, guys, they cannot deal more than the stacked cards that you have here. So in this case, we have the 7 of diamonds memorized. They are going to place the cards that they already dealt here on the table. They're going to place them right back on top of the deck, and they're placing that key card right there on top. So that's what's happening here, but obviously they don't know that. Make sure they don't turn over these cards, or they will get suspicious that they're all diamonds. And then your spectator is going to give the deck a couple riffle shuffles. They can give the deck 2 riffle shuffles, and if your spectator does not know how to riffle shuffle, you can do it yourself, but I think it makes for a more powerful effect if they do it themselves. And guys, it does not matter how they riffle shuffle the deck. They're just going to give the deck 2 normal riffle shuffles like this. And once they have done that, you're going to turn around and you're going to tell your spectator that you are going to attempt to locate their card. Make the point to your spectator that there's absolutely no way you know what their card is, and because they dealt however many they wanted and they memorized the card while you were turned around. You're going to spread out the deck face up on the table, or you can go through the deck to yourself, but I think it makes it a little bit easier and more impossible to your spectator if you just spread out the deck on the table. If I can spread out the deck just like this, you're going to tell your spectator that we have a complete mess out of the deck. All the cards are random, which is true. There's that stack of diamonds is not on the top anymore. It just seems like the entire deck is completely random. Now, what you need to do here is locate your key card, the one that you memorized, at the top of your stack, in this case, the Queen of Diamonds. So we've located the Queen of Diamonds, and every single time, the first card to the right that is that same suit, the first diamond in this case, will be their selection. So as you can see, the first diamond to the right is the 7 of diamonds, which is the spectator's selection. And every single time it will work. But let's say, guys, your key card was like the 2, if it makes its way down here, and then you don't see any diamonds after it, you're going to want to go to the top of the deck, and wherever first diamond appears will be their selection. So just keep that in mind. It may happen where the key card gets down here near the bottom, but in this case, you see the key card right here, Queen of Diamonds. The first diamond to the right is going to be their selection right here, the 7 of diamonds. Now, you can present how you found their card to your spectator in a couple different ways. You can tell them, I'm going to go through the deck and try to find a card that's speaking to me. And I believe right here, the 7 of diamonds is your selection. Your spectator will be completely confused. They will have absolutely no idea how you did it. Or you can, go through the deck to yourself. You spread out the cards. You see the Queen of Diamonds right here, then the first diamond to the right is going to be their selection. You can place it face down, tell your spectator for the first time, name their selection. They say 7 of diamonds, and then you turn over the card, and boom, you correctly predicted their card. This trick just seems so impossible because your spectator is literally giving the deck riffle shuffles, but because of the setup, you're able to determine what their card is because you memorize that key card on top. And guys, this is just a very cool and powerful effect. It's definitely going to blow all the minds of your spectators. And remember, since this card trick does have a little setup, I recommend you open your routine with this trick, and then you can get into some impromptu tricks after that. Definitely play around with how you do the trick and how you're explaining the instructions to your spectator, because remember, they cannot deal more than 13 cards and have a card that's not a part of your stacked suit on top. Definitely give this trick a try. Let me know how it goes. It will definitely blow the minds of all your spectators. Thank you guys for watching this video and all the support on the channel. I really do appreciate it. Check out the link in the description to my Amazon page if you're interested in the deck I use in this video and the other decks I use in my videos. Thank you for watching. I'll see you all in my next one. Peace out.